want to introduce you to somebody who's whom we're going to be reading about, and we have been reading about for a little bit. So, before I do that, though, I want to thank David Merlo, who works extensively in Haiti and has been doing so for a number of years. I also want to introduce Christine Coupé, who's a very well-known pollster who does a lot of polling in Haiti, and I've had the privilege of working with her as well. So thank you for the opportunity to have my students meet Mr. Moïse. So let me tell you a little bit about this class. This is a class on the politics of the Caribbean. So what we do is we have a general introductory session on the Caribbean, and we talk about the pattern of development in the Caribbean. We talk about, obviously, the politics of the Caribbean more generally. And we started a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, to focus more narrowly on specific countries. We just finished Cuba, and we started Haiti on Tuesday. So your visit really coincides with what they're doing. They've been reading extensively about Haiti, and they're going to continue to read extensively about Haiti, right? You're reading about Haiti, right? Yeah. So, all right. There are a few students from Haiti, and you met Charles, and I'd like, why don't you introduce yourselves to, all right? And just please introduce yourself, because I do want my Haitian students to know you. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kimberly. I'm not from Haiti, but my parents are Haitian descent. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. You met Charles, right?
Hi. My parents are also Haitian too. They actually live in Haiti, and I go to visit Haiti a lot.
And then Stein, who has been my student several, and she's also with the Haitian Studies Students Association.
Yes, my name is Stein Lejean, and I am a representative of the National Haitian Student Alliance, as well as the United Haitian Students of Florida, which is the BARD, the state board organization, as well as I used to be part of the executive board of the Haitian Student Organization here on campus. Welcome.
Good. It's your big leader.
Then,
my name is Frank Marston. So I came here like in 2011, just after the earthquake. So
Good.
so I know a little bit.
You know a lot.
No,
all right. So, okay, and then we have a very, very good collection of other Caribbean students. We have 2 or 3 from Cuba, right?
Yeah.
Right. A couple of Dominicans. So
okay.
We do let Dominicans in this crowd.
Oh, yeah.
We have other Caribbeans from the British
Island.
British Islands,
Yes.
right? And we have who have I missed? We have Americans too. We have
Yeah.
some Americans. And we have my graduate student from Iran. So. And then we have somebody also from the Cayman Islands. So
Cayman Island, I know Cayman Island. I was been there.
And we have a couple of Venezuelans as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
and one Venezuelan and one from Argentina. So we've and it shows you a little bit about what our university is about. We are a very multicultural university. So well, I've asked. My students to prepare themselves for your visit today, so they've read extensively about Haiti in preparation for today. But let me introduce Mr. Moïse to you. I guess the quickest way to introduce him to you is to say that he's actually somebody who studied in Haiti, but he studied education, right? And so he's not unfamiliar with universities and with education, but he really is known more than anything else for his extensive agricultural background. And what's fascinating about his background is that he owns the largest, I think the largest banana plantation in the Caribbean, right? Or at least one of them are.
It's 1,000 it tells us too.
And for that reason, he has a fascinating, and all of you already know it, a very fascinating slogan, which is, you know, neg banan nan, which. So I've asked Mr. Moïse to address us this afternoon and to talk to us a little bit about the overall situation in Haiti, and of course we've been following the electoral process there, and I think, you know, we may be privileged in the sense that he more than likely is the next president of Haiti. So the fact that we're just such a small group and here, so if you would, you know, take 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then we'll just open it up to questions. And all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But I'm 47. I feel 20 because today I'm on university. I feel like I'm student today. I come from the silent majority in Haiti. This is the first time in my life I'm involved in politics, and I'm a candidate to the president of that country. As you can understand, it's really difficult for me, very difficult, to come from a system, I'm talking forward system, now you are insider. In French, a nebuleuse is like, for example, the first round of the election will done on October 25. The second round must be on December 27. Today we are March 12. We don't have election. I don't know why. It's for the reason I told you. I come from the silent majority, but I cannot understand what happened. Because in Haiti, you have some political people, I'm talking the traditional political people, they talk a lot. And you have a big majority, I'm talking about the hard worker. They're not talking. Difficult for me today, but I'm working hard. First of all, to understand, and after, to try to change this mentality, because if we want something happen in that country, we must change this mentality. I'm here not to make a big speech, because in my campaign, all the time I speak Creole. It's for the reason before I come in here, I was clear with my campaign manager. I told her, I don't want to speak English, I want to speak Creole. I need a person to make a translation for me, because I want to my people understand all the word I say. It's really important for me. But when she told me, Jovenel, you must speak English with the student, because you know some of them don't speak Creole, who will not understand. But I think it's really important for me today to try. This is the first time I speak English with people. All the time I speak Creole. But Jovenel Moïse is a native from Haiti, but I come from the countryside. I'm not come from Port-au-Prince. I come from Trou du Nord. Trou du Nord, I don't know if you know Citadelle, La Ferrière. You have some story about Citadelle. Citadelle is a very big building. We have 200 years the slavery after the war of 1804, the King Henry built citadel to protect the north. But I come from the side, the north side. I'm living on the north also until now, but I live on three regions: on the north, and the northwest. I have my water treatment plant on the northwest, and my small farm, 45 hectares of plantain, and my big farm on the north with 1,000 hectares. I'm talking about, we are growing organic bananas for export to Germany, but we are working to get access to the United States market. But you know, it's really difficult. But now we are working with the European. We sell all the bananas to Europe, but we are doing paper also. We sell the paper here, 100% hard paper. We sell it on the US. Haiti is a very rich country, but when I say that, you wow, I know it is the poorest country on the Caribbean. Today, Mr. Moïse told me Haiti is a very rich country. Yes, Haiti is very rich, but the problem is the mentality. We got all the resources we need to grow that country. For example, in my campaign, agriculture is my priority. In Haiti, we have a lot of land. I'm talking about empty land. We have a lot of river go straight to the sea. And the sun. All the year we have sun. And the people. If you put these four items together, the land, the sun, the people, and the river, you will have a rich country. This is the reason I'm on politics today, to try to put these four items together, because the traditional politician does understand that you cannot grow a country with foreign things. You may try to find things inside the country if you want to start growing the country. It's for the reason I'm involved in politics today. We have a lot of possibility on that country. For example, the climate change. We have problem with the rain. Before the climate change problems, we have 6 months of rain in Haiti. Today we have 2. And 10 months of dry season. How to resolve that problem? It's not difficult. We receive the same quantity of rain. It's 1,000 millimeters per year. But the problem is, now we have a lot of flood because the water comes a lot and they go through to the sea. It's simple. Try to make a dam. I'm talking about micro dam to the river. Get the water reserve. When the dry season comes, you will use the sun to pump this water, because the solar energy is a natural thing. You will use it to pump this water and make an irrigation system to grow crops on that country, because the people have 2 problems. They need food and work. With a project like that, when you put let's fight them together. You will create jobs for the people, and you will put food on his plate. This is for the reason I'm here today. I'm on politics because Haiti is on my heart. And when Damien told me, Jovenel, you must talk today in FIU, I was scared. I told him, Damien, I'm not coming here to talk to the student because I was a student. I know student is very, I remember 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I was being like that with a politician. I remember a candidate come in my college, and I told him, you are another people will steal the money of that country, or you will do something for that country. And after 25 years, the thing is the same. This is the reason I want to be in politics today, to try to change this reality, to try to start with the agriculture, to try to change the education, because today the Methodist government, the Methodist administration do a lot of things on basic education. Like before 2010, we had more or less 70% children go to school. Today, we are talking about 90%. But the problem is the quality of the education. It's for the reason in my campaign I was clear to try to build equality inside the education. Thank you very much. I'm waiting for your question.
First of all, thank you very much for clearing up your schedule and making your way to FIU. Like I said, I have a representation of the National Haitian Student Alliance, as well as the United Haitian Students of Florida. And my concern about Haiti is definitely the environment, that it concerns the environment as well as the economy. So I'll just start with the economy. When it comes to the economy, Haiti's problem is definitely a debt problem as well as a distribution problem. Like when I say that, I mean as in a distribution of wealth. What is your plan to ensure that there is an even distribution to a point where there is a creation of a stable middle class in Haiti?
It is a very strong question. But we have a problem in Haiti. We cannot talk today about middle class. We know that because I come from the countryside. My father was a small farmer. My mother was, how to say Madasara. I don't know how to say that, but you know that. You can explain to your classmate about Madasara. My mother was a Madasara. And yes.
Yeah. Basically, a Madasara is a merchant, a female merchant, and what they will do is they will, their husbands will plant and of course they have crops, but then afterwards they would have to travel from the countryside to the city in order to sell the agricultural plants, and it's also a form of a part of Haiti's economy that is part of the informal economy. So the money that they make is going to living and having a subsistence form of living, but it's not being returned to the country. And that's a major problem that I would also like to address with the question as well. The informal economy.
Today, the Asian economy is like something freezing. This economy, it's for the reason we are trying to make innovation. You cannot develop a country without innovation. For example, in Haiti today, we sell for 4.6 we buy for $4.6 billion, and we sell for $1.6 billion. The difference is $3 billion per year. You cannot develop a country like that. If you are talking about the middle class, the most important thing, you must try to develop the countryside, the region. It's for the reason I'm talking about the agriculture sector. Today, if you want to talk about middle class, the only way you can build a middle class in Haiti is the national production. I'm talking about transformation, agro-industry, agriculture, and services. It's not at purpose only, because today, unfortunately, Haiti is purpose. Each $1 you expend in Haiti, you have 85 cents expended in purpose, 15 cents for all the other countries. You cannot create a middle class like that. But it's for the reason I'm working hard to make to decentralize the country, because the country is squeezed at purpose only. The economics, all the Asian economics is controlled by small group, and this group is at purpose only. Now it's really important to try. It's not to take the money from them. No. It's, you must try to create, to be innovative, to create other things for the other people. Like I was talking the last week about a book I was reading, the blue ocean strategy. Now all the people is on the red ocean, and you must create the blue ocean. The blue ocean is an innovation where you can do other things. It's really important to go by your mind. It's for the reason I'm clear. I take the agriculture. The agriculture will give you, I'm talking about the modernization. It's not agriculture like the Asian people think on his head. Agriculture, you need I'm talking something 2 centuries before. No. I'm talking about modern things. Agriculture, for example, to grow banana, you need a very big enterprise, a very big industry. I'm talking about packaging industries. Now, we buy 50 containers of carton box from Colombia. Why not 10 entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs? This is the way I want to go, to develop the middle class, because we don't have middle class in Haiti. I'm an example, but the country cannot go like that. Each people, you came from the countryside, and you are a success story, entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. No. We need a lot of Jovenel Moïse in Haiti today. It's for the reason I'm
here. Yes, please.
You mentioned using solar energy to pump water and develop irrigation systems, which could develop crops and jobs. But I'm thinking that seems like an issue that could be resolved through private investment. So why use this as a reason to run when innovation and change can be developed without a high political seat?
Can you repeat the last sentence?
Why are you using this as a reason to run when innovation and change could be developed without necessarily obtaining a high seat in politics?
I seek about this, I don't understand this part. Can you explain?
Pourquoi tu utilises, il dit que certains investissements peuvent être faits par le secteur privé. Pourquoi tu veux être président pour
Good question, good question, good question. Haiti is not United States. Haiti is not a Cayman Island. I will explain. For example, if you want to make a big fund to gather incentive from the government, you will have a lot of problems because we don't have law about that. To make the law, you must take the power because we need law today. Without law, you can do nothing. It's for the reason I will run for the president to try to start to put law, okay, to grow that country. For example, like the private sector, we cannot put up electricity to pumping water. You know what? Why? Because the electricity company is for the government, and this company have a monopoly. If you want to produce electricity, the only one company can do that is his name is Electricité d'Haïti. No one can do that. As a private sector, I don't have the power to produce electricity from the solar to pumping water. You must change this law. And to change it, you must understand it. And to understand it, when you finish to understand it, you must be on power to change it. This is the problem we have in Haiti. Change the law, because we cannot change in this country without the law. We have a very big structural problems. We cannot change the country without the law. I think we must work on the region. For example, the Northwest. The Northwest is close to Cuba. I'm talking about by plane. It's 45 minutes. I was been to Cuba with my family in 2004. It's really close. 45 minutes. Santiago de Cuba, Port-au-Prince. We must work. First of all, we must work to control the North region, the Northwest and the North, to create jobs on that region, because Cuba is open today, and there's people who try to go to Cuba to work on agriculture, because I'm talking about the people who go to Bahamas, Dominican Republic, and Miami also. They go to work on farm. They are farmers. But first of all, we will work to create jobs on that region, on that area, to block the flow of people to go through to Cuba today, because Cuba is open. Second part of your question, the relation we have between Cuba and Haiti is a long-term relation, and it's a very good relation also on education. For example, today we have a lot of medicine, Haitian medicine come from Cuban university, a lot. But we will keep this relation. But for innovation, it's really important for us today to talk about Caribbean destination, because Cuba is open today. Cuba will receive a lot of tourism, a lot. But I think we will try to make it on her. Haiti, Cuba, and Dominican Republic, because we are three big countries on the Caribbean. Cuba receives more or less 3 million tourism per year today. But I think Cuba will go crazy, like 10 million, 15 million. And Haiti is really close to Cuba. It's really important, our relationship with Cuba, the Haitian government and the Cuban government. We will, and under my leadership, we will try to put them together to sell one destination, Cuba in Haiti. When the tourism go to Cuba, it can go also on the package and share the benefit. I think this is like on innovation. This is the way I will go with Haiti.
Yes, please. Or, yeah, Charles.
My question is, like under your administration, do you plan on revamping the Haitian public works system so they could like build more roads and trains and clean up Haiti? And my second question is, do you plan on bringing back the military?
But you know, I will continue because the President Martelly on his administration just started with building road. For example, on Delma, I know you know Delma. You see, we have a big overpass today. This is the first one in Haiti, and Dominican Republic had this overpass since 1958. The first. After, I don't know, 60 years, different. But we will continue to build road because we have more or less 4,000 kilometers of road need built to Haiti. I'm talking about in the entire country. And your second question is,
do you have any plans on bringing back
the military? Haiti, the history of this country was building on a military. For example, the slavery, to leave the system, it was a very big fighting. And today, I'm confident I will work to get, I'm talking about military like we had it before. We are talking about professional things. We can get Asian people knows how to manage helicopters, airplanes, to control the border. For example, we have 350 kilometers of border between Dominican Republic and Haiti. We don't have any. For example, on the other side, we have CESFRONT. The Dominican people have CESFRONT to control this border. We don't have any control of our side. We will build, it's a process. We will build an army to control nothing. We will build an army to protect the people when we are, for example, for the earthquake. You know that. The military come from the US, come from the Dominican Republic to help us. But we are not talking about first to fight against other people, because now I think Haiti, our priority today is not fighting. Our priority today is grow this country. This is our priority. But we will continue, I'm clear, with the program of President Mandela started to build a different force. He's not talking about military force, he's talking about different force.
Okay. Catherine, you had a question?
Going back to what she was asking, because I was kind of thinking of that too. But in a similar strain, you're kind of the innovative candidate, the candidate who wants to bring change through innovation, through new ideas. So what I'm curious to know, a lot of these islands, you also have Jamaica, who's a very tourist hotspot right now. You have Cuba, who's going to come up and be a gigantic tourist hotspot. What do you think? Where do you think Haiti can innovate in, like, where their tourism area will shine, where they will stand out from the rest of the Caribbean. Because, you know, Caribbean packages come dime a dozen. There's so many of them. Where can where can Haiti shine in the Caribbean?
Good question. For example, we are in a lot of historical places. Let's talk about the citadel. We have a lot on the north, on the south, on the different regions of that country. When I'm talking about package, we will sell different things. We will sell different things. We have a lot of things Cuba doesn't have, and Jamaica also. And for example, when I was into Jamaica, when I go to Rios, and I took a taxi. I talked to the driver. I want to go to Kingston. He told me, hey, you know, here we have a line, a red line. If I cross this line, they will put me in jail. I told him, why they will put you in jail because you crossed the line? Because you are notorious. I cannot go with you in Kingston. Because Kingston, you know, that is very hard to see. But Jamaica has notorious, Montego Bay, Negril, they make a lot of money on tourism, not with Kingston. But we have a lot of things to sell to the tourism without progress, and a lot of sell also, a lot of tech also to sell to the tourism. I think there's tech we are talking about that Cuba doesn't have it, Jamaica doesn't have it, Dominican Republic also doesn't have it. It's on Haiti only you will find it. It's for the reason when I'm talking about package, we will try, but I will be a president, but you know, I will have my Secretary of Tourism. We will have staff working on that. We will build something valuable. It's really important to bring your tourism in here.
I just have a comment. So another part about tourism is like, one thing that is done to sell tourism is the connection that is with the Haitian diaspora in America. Like what we're doing with NHSA is like, we're trying to travel back to Haiti in order to really showcase the beauty of the island and the different parts of the island, and keep it going throughout social media so people will also see the other side of Haiti, where it's not just the dangerous parts, but it's also the beauty parts. And that's very, very important when it comes to tourism, because we have been sold this vision of Haiti as the impoverished country, or the place where you don't want to take your children or you don't want to take your family. But when it comes to the fact, like, you have to really explore, you have to really go to the island, and it's all about social media, of course, and a strategic way of depicting the country.
Okay, good, but I think we must do our homework also. I'm talking about the government. But we just started in 2011 to change the image of Haiti. You are good on your point of view. It's really important. It's for the reason I explained him the situation between Kingston and the other parts of Jamaica. Jamaica is not only Kingston. Like Haiti is not only poverty, it's not only Port-au-Prince. We have a lot of area we can show to sell to really.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. They're really different, but the first one relates to tourism. A lot of potential tourists view Haiti as like a dangerous place, or a place that if they go, they might be harmed. Which Mexico had a similar problem a few years back, where a lot of people didn't want to travel over there because they thought that it was dangerous, they would get kidnapped or like hurt in some way. How are you going to expand like the public like safety sector to make tourists feel like safe visiting Haiti? Do you have plans for that? And then my second question is, you've talked a lot about the agricultural sector as well as the education sector, and I think both provide opportunities to develop like technological advancements, and they could both benefit from that. And obviously that's like a very long process, but have you thought about laying the foundations to bring like technological advances and a focus on technology to Haiti?
Okay, good. The first one is, for example, if a tourism you want to go to Port-au-Prince today, you will see a lot of things in the internet. But what about Capuchin? What about Gatman? What about Lekai? What about Jeremy? We have a lot of where tourism can come today. But the problem is how you sell your country. It's for the reason we are working on both. First of all, to resolve the problem of kidnapping you was talking about, the problem of the lack of security you are talking about. But in Haiti also, I want you to be clear on that. Haiti is not the number one when you on the Caribbean. I think we are third or fourth.
Yeah, we
Dominican Republic in Jamaica is higher than us, and kidnapping and
yeah, it's just
we are
it's
not
the perception.
Exactly, the perception. But first of all, we will work to change the perception and to pull down the quantity of kidnapping and crime we have in Haiti. But the destination, for example, now we have a daily flight, American Airlines flight from Fort Lauderdale to Capuchin. If people want to go to Haiti today, if you don't want to go to Port-au-Prince directly, you can go to Capuchin. And we have a lot of things to show you in the north part of Haiti. Technology. We cannot talk today about innovation without technology. The biggest example I have is Israel. Israel have three sectors. The first one is tourism, because Israel has Jerusalem. The second one is agriculture. The third one is high-tech technology. You cannot talk about innovation without technology. For example, on agriculture, if you want to make a good irrigation systems, you cannot do it without technology. For example, you can have your land in Haiti. You can have, for example, a farm in Semak, and his room, he can control his system by technology. But we don't have time to explain exactly, because if I explain you all my programs, we will explain one day to do that. It's really important to know that for the reason I not develop the technology system with you. For example, the BPO, the business processing outsourcing, it's really important to create jobs on that. We have a lot of young people and they need jobs when you finish with high school, or you can do a part-time job when you go to the university on BPO. I'm talking about call center, the business processing outsourcing, a lot of things you can do with that. And we have all the part in Haiti. For example, we have the fiber optic, 4 line of fiber optic in Haiti, but the problem is organization. We need a leadership, innovative leadership. For example, the fiber optic, there's people who have a small company here, they use a part of that. The small company there, they use a part of that. You need a leader, you can put them together and do a big host to get one wholesaler I'm talking about the fiber optic. Without the fiber optic, you cannot talk about technology. You cannot talk about internet, good internet service. You cannot talk about anything in technology, because technology today is communication. Communication today is internet. But you cannot talk about technology without high tech. It's for the reason, like a member of the private sector, we are working hard with the Israeli people. I was been there to work with them, to see how they develop this country, because Haiti is 27,000 square kilometers, and Israel is 22,000 square kilometers. It's like I said, we have 11 million people. Israel have 8 million, and you see, yeah, go like that. And we receive 1,000 millimeters of water per year. Rain, Israel receive 500. And they grow agriculture on Negev. The desert, you don't have any vegetation, nothing. They use the water come from Tel Aviv. They treat it, and this water go through to the desert, and they make a big development, like 30,000 hectares of potatoes, everything. That's for the reason I think is a rich country. But we are poor people, but the country is very rich. But the people is very poor. We can change.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, because I want to sort of in the context of the course that we have here. One very, very important issue that Stein, I think, is outside, but one of the issues that we're working on is Caribbean integration, and you had a couple of questions along those lines. But one of the big issues, of course, for you is a very, very important neighbor that you have, the Dominican Republic. As president, what will you do to address the relationship with the Dominican Republic? How would you move that forward, or how would you move it in any particular direction?
Haiti is a Dominican Republic is like that. If you cut it, you break the newspaper. But we are obliged to live together. But the problem is, we must do our homework, like I told you. We cannot. Dominican Republic today is an emerging country. They do his homework. They work a lot in agriculture, technology, and the law also. They make a lot of things on this constitution. Today, Dominican Republic is a country, is an emerging country. We cannot, in Haiti today, we cannot ignore this country. We can't. It's impossible to think you can go Haiti without Dominican Republic. Today, we have two important capitals. I'm talking about city you must have political relationship with. The first one is Washington. The second one is Santo Domingo. If you are a politician today, want to be president in Haiti, you don't know that, problems. Two big cities, political cities, you must have relationship with. The first one is Washington. The second one is Santo Domingo. The other one is come after Geneva, Paris. All of them is come after. Because Santo Domingo today is very important for us. Because you must work together to resolve all the issues we have. Because we have a lot of issues. Economic issue, historical issue, political issue, a lot. But the problem is there. We have a lot of conservative Dominican. We have a lot of conservative Haitian also. They block all the communication. It's for the reason you must create a new network between the Haitian politician and the Dominican politician, between the economic elite, Haitian economic elite, and the Dominican economic elite also. I think this is the way.
Good. And then yes, go ahead, please. Huh?
You mentioned earlier the border between Dominican Republic and Haiti. When you were addressing the Army question, has there been any, questions from the DR towards the Haitians, basically asking or pressuring the Haitians to increase security along the border?
What I think is an economic issue. Today the border, Haiti lost more or less $350 million every year. It's not a Dominican problem, it's a nation issue. It's for the reason we receive any pressure from the DR because it's good for them. It's our problem. This is for the reason I just told you we must do our homework to protect our border. Because you know that the border has two sides. Side for the Dominican Republic and our side. And today, the Haitian government lost $350 million a year. We don't have any pressure from them because it's good.
Great. I want to ask you one final question, since it's a nice small group. They're very interested in the Caribbean. They're very interested in Haiti, and we're very concerned, obviously, about where Haiti is going. And they're going to know you probably better than they're going to know any other Haitian politician. And so I think we're rooting for you. But I want to ask you, what do you think will happen in the event that the party that's in power today does not follow the agreement that they reached with former President Martelly? What do you think will happen, and how do you avert getting to that scenario?
But we are working hard to force the provisional president to respect the agreement, because it will be difficult today to explain what will go on if the provisional government does not respect the agreement. We are working hard with the Congress today because we are a majority in the Congress to force the provisional president to respect the agreement, because the provisional president has one thing to do: election. The agreement is clear. It's for the reason I'm in the US today, work with a lot of people to explain them. We are worried about that. The provisional president, I think they are like that. We want this president is like that to go through to the election. And it's really, unfortunately, I can't give you the answer about the future, because I don't have it. But like a nation leader, I have it in my heart. We are working hard with the Congress to force the provisional president to respect the agreement, because the election must be held on April 24. We are working hard, and I think something will change on the next 7 days. to respect to go back to the agreement, because we fail today. He leaves the agreement. And I think in a few days they will go back to the agreement.
Let's hope so. I think all of us are. Anything else that, no questions, okay? Yes, of course.
Yeah, I live in Haiti for 17 years, and one of the biggest issues I found in Haiti is like there's an issue between the elite and the masses. We can see that with issues such as minimum wage man, and so I think in 2002 after Harrison was president, when he was trying to raise the minimum wage, and the elites who probably, I would say, own most of the businesses in Haiti, he was trying to influence Harrison plan on doing that. So if you like, you want as a president for Haiti, so how do you plan on changing that situation where they can influence most of the political issues in Haiti?
Open the economy. For example, the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, Jovenel Moïse said, Haiti open for business. But when you open the door, you see a big white wire inside the womb. A big white wire. The door, you see a big white wire. Now, we will try to take this white wire out and open it. Because no way you can grow this country like that. I understand you perfectly. Because like I told you, I come from the countryside. We need to create a lot of innovative things. For example, let's talk about Peru. I was been there. In a region, they live under 50 cents per day. I'm talking about 2007, 2008. And the government worked with some people in the private sector, from foreign investors also. They built a very big project, an agro-industry project, complex project. They take a river from 287 kilometers. It's very long. They come with the water, and they make a big project, 75,000 hectares of land, agro-industries, agriculture. And today, you know what? In 2014, Walmart was there. You know what? You know why? There's people now, the minimum rate is $16 per day, and it was 50 cents. It's $16 per day. They have money to buy all the things they want. It's for the reason I told you, innovation. If you want to change, to break that between the people on the street and the economic elite, you must innovate on the economic system.
Yeah, one thing that most of the jobs is concentrated in, I would say, in the public sector. The private sector is really not doing anything. So most Haitians, when they try to find a job, they go to the public sector instead. Like when they run for office, they don't see themselves as a public servant. They see politics as a job instead of trying to construct in Haiti, instead of trying to do something to Haiti. They see it as a job. That's why they have like there is so much corruption. Just to get money. So how are you gonna try to resolve that, make the private sector more effective to create jobs in Haiti, and this way those people that are looking for a job in the public sector to be more of the public sector instead of looking for a job and going to corruption.
Change the economic model. Change. Today, the economic model we are in Haiti is buy something today from China, after 45 days, sell it in Haiti. This is the economic model we have to change. We need another economic model. We can produce in Haiti, sell it in Haiti, and sell something overseas also to get the money back. You will create jobs. I'm not talking about jobs on the textile sector only. I'm not talking about minimum wage jobs. Jobs you can, the middle class, the intellectual elite can get jobs from this sector also. It's really important to develop another economic model. It's really important for us because today, like you told me, no way we cannot develop a country like that. 10, 15, 20 people control all the import, all the importation, control the economy. Because 11 million people, they live under importation only. The export, like I told you in my speech, I was clear, we import for 4.6 million US dollars, we export for 1.6. And the diaspora make a lot of effort. We receive $2 billion a year from the diaspora to Haiti. And do you know what is this money do? This money go back directly to buy food and other things. Go to Haiti. We want to go back with the same word, innovation, because we need new idea to make this country, to make something happen.
Well, what a privilege it's been to have you here. Thank you so much. And we were very privileged, a very small group, but it's a very important group. And so it's good for reproducing your message at least. So thank you so much. And Damien, Christine, thank you so much for joining us. And